In Part 1 of the form, applicants are required to fill in their basic personal information, including Chinese and English name, title, correspondence and email address, year of birth, Hong Kong ID card number, telephone number, marital status, ethnicity, etc. Please note the following points when filling in the information. First of all, when filling in your English name, please enter the surname starting from the first box and leave a space between each word. Please note that items marked with an asterisk are mandatory fields, while those with @ are optional. This applies throughout the e-form. The SFO may contact the applicant when necessary. Therefore, applicants must provide the correct correspondence address and email address. If the applicant changes the relevant information after submitting the application, please notify the SFO in writing as soon as possible. The notification should be duly signed by the applicant with the application number or Hong Kong ID card number of the applicant provided. If the applicant does not reside in Hong Kong, please provide the contact address in Hong Kong for future correspondence. Please enter the Hong Kong ID card number according to the format on the form. If the applicant is not a holder of Hong Kong ID card, please select an applicable item in the drop-down menu under Other Identity Document Type, and then enter the corresponding identity document number. After that, please enter the Hong Kong mobile phone number so that the SFO can issue notifications by means of SMS, such as acknowledgement of receipt of application or notifications on payment. If the home telephone number is available, please also provide it in the form. Meanwhile, please enter a valid email address so that the SFO can contact the applicant by email where applicable. Here, the applicant is required to fill in the marital status in the assessment year. If the applicant is married, please check the box next to Item A and provide information of the applicant's spouse in Part 2. If the applicant is a single parent during the assessment year, please check the box next to Item B, and relevant options on marital status, namely divorced, separated, widowed, etc., will be available for selection after checking the box next to Item B. If there is any change in the marital status after the assessment period, please provide the details in Part 7 of this form. After completing all items in each part, please click Next Page at the bottom right corner of the page to proceed to the next part. For Part 2 of the application form, applicants should fill in the particulars of the applicant's family members and the financial assistance schemes being applied for. Applicants are required to fill in particulars of the spouse of the applicant in Item A of Part 2. Same as Part 1, the applicant is required to fill in the Chinese and English names, year of birth, Hong Kong ID card number, or information of other identity document, and Hong Kong mobile phone number of the spouse. For Item B of Part 2, the applicant is required to provide particulars of student applicants and unmarried children residing with the family, starting from the youngest child. In addition to name, date of birth, and identity document number, it is also necessary to indicate whether the children concerned are under education in the assessment year in Item 5. If the applicant needs to apply for financial assistance for pre-primary, primary, or secondary students for his or her children under education, please enter the name of the school, institution, mode of study, and select class level in the drop-down menu for the student applicant in the school year of application, and then check the box Need in Item 9. The assistance schemes available for selection will be enabled after Item 7 and Item 8 are completed. If unmarried children residing with the family are studying at tertiary institution in the school year of application, please check the box Do Not Need in Item 9. Applicants applying for fee remission for student applicants aged 0 to 3 receiving whole-day childcare service in childcare centers must pass the social needs assessment. When the system identifies the relevant student applicant in the application, the social needs assessment form will be automatically displayed under Item 9. The applicant needs to select the applicable social needs criteria in the assessment form. check the declaration box under the form and upload the relevant supporting documents at the end of the whole e-form to facilitate the SFO to determine whether the applicant passes the social needs assessment. If a continuing applicant uses the pre-filled e-form and needs to add unmarried children residing with the family, please click Add Child to enter details and provide a copy of the identity documents of the relevant children. For a new applicant with more than one child residing with the family, after entering details of the first child, click Add Child to enter details and provide a copy of identity documents of the other children. Item C of Part 2 is about the Family-Based Subsidy for Internet Access Charges, SIA. The SFO has assumed that the applicant's family needs the subsidy, but it is only applicable to families with primary and secondary students and have passed the means test. Applicants who need SIA should leave the box of Do Not Need blank. If the applicant's family does not need the SIA, please check the box of Do Not Need. If the applicant's family has dependent parents, please fill in Item D of Part 2. Who can be counted as dependent parents? The father or mother of the applicant or the applicant's spouse will be counted if the father or mother is not a recipient of the Comprehensive Social Security Assistance, CSSA, at the time of submission of application and is not in employment during the assessment year, and meet any one of the following conditions for at least 6 months throughout the assessment year, namely, resided with the applicant's family or resided in the premises owned or rented by the applicant or his or her spouse, or resided in an elderly home and the expenses were fully paid by the applicant or his or her spouse, or totally supported by the applicant or his or her spouse. Please note that the applicant or his or her spouse should continue to support their parent in this school year, and the form of support should be similar to that in the year of assessment. As the number of family members may affect directly the level of assistance the applicant's family is eligible for, the applicant should provide supporting documents such as tenancy agreement, residential address proof, or receipt of the home for the elderly, etc., for assessment. If your family has no dependent parents who meet the above definition, please leave this section blank. If the parent of the applicant or the spouse is a recipient of the CSSA at the time of submission of application and/or in employment during the assessment year and hence does not meet the definition of dependency, please check the box next to Yes. If your family has more than 2 dependent parents, please supplement their information by appending a separate sheet with the applicant's signature. The separate sheet should be scanned and uploaded. We will introduce the details and procedures for uploading documents later on in this video.